We have to go back to how we once defined economics, and that's about how we create a society which benefits all, and within, and that's currently very pressing, within ecological boundaries. That's how we should define economics. Even 10 years after the great financial crisis we have had in 2007, 2008, we did not reinvent ourselves. So the economic policy approach is still the same. Deregulation, international trade, low corporate taxes, and then we think it will create well-being. My mindset and even your mindset is very much conditioned on 2 generations of thinking about economic growth. So we still think if growth goes up, we think, oh, it's okay. If you look to the news, if you look to anywhere, we are very much conditioned to that. If you create a system dependent on economic growth, it's very easy to say if we don't have economic growth, our system fails. So the only thing you can do is create a different system. And is that a challenge? Yes, of course it's a challenge, but it's not impossible. It starts with going back to what is important. If you look at the statistics, also in research, economic research, what do people value the most? It's not extra clothes or it's not extra material well-being in general, it's social relations, it's intimacy, it's time with the family, it's hobbies, it's time to do nice things, it's their own health. What we have seen over the last 40 years is a rising inequality, income inequality, especially in the USA, in the UK, and less in the Netherlands, but also a little bit higher. Wealth inequality, so more wealth for the 1%, and that's massive all over the world. And last one, also lower wage rises, so more to capital. To go back to Marxism, it's more capital and labor is losing. The second one is our ecological boundaries. We see by no way that we can make any arrangements that countries or companies agree to. So the majority of them agrees on limiting themselves. So, and we still expect, so we make commitments and we make new commitments, and then we have an agreement that we say that next year we want to make sometimes new commitments, and that's how far we can come. And that's not enough. And that really has to do with the system we are in. But our prosperity depends on our stocks and how many stuff we have, how many natural resources, human capital, social capital, what we have. So if we are capable of also using our stuff in a better way, so we measure the flows of stuff in general and services, but a lot of stuff. So if we are able to use everything we already have in a better way, so sharing economy or just maybe also less advertising, so we are not trying to or are not teased every time to buy new stuff, then we have less economic growth. But it's not that we have less utility, because we derive, in the economic sense, utility from all the stuff we have. So if we want to have a sustainable world economy, that means also redistribution. But the easiest way of redistribution is starting, on the one hand, with saying the advanced economies do not have to grow, because it does not deliver any well-being anymore, so why should you? And on the other hand, allowing developing countries to increase their material well-being, because there's a need for. That increases well-being, that increases life expectancy in India and Indonesia and all those very big populous countries. And if we go on with that, if we have more innovation, if things are easier to decouple resource use from well-being, maybe we can have a degrowth strategy in advanced economies. Why not? Because it's not about well-being, it's about material flows. And that's completely different than well-being, what we experience every day. So it makes also no use of saying to people, you get less. No, we get more well-being, but maybe we get less economic growth. And that would be very good. And that is prosperity in the end.